Hi. So why did I just record a whole 10-minute video without actually hitting record? So I'm gonna try again. How you doing? So I just got done about 20 minutes ago grading your exam. And a couple of you have been into my office to talk to me about questions that you've had. And one of the things that we decided might be a good idea is me to post even more videos, so that I could talk to you a little bit more and explain some of the issues that are coming up with some of the theories. I am a more verbal person than a written person, so it's easier for me to just talk to you. I hope that's okay. So the one question on the exam that I want to talk to you the most about is the one that asked about the differences between, or essentially what the theory of reasoned action has to offer above and beyond the health belief model. So I have these drawings, because I'm a visual learner, that I give to students, and I can post these for you, so that we can see the differences between the theory. And this is showing up backwards. I hope you're not seeing it as backwards. But essentially the health belief model is a static model, and you remember all the pieces, and it's all about perceptions, health, belief. So how do people believe? How do they feel? What do they think about their health? So do they think it's not a big deal, it's not going to happen to me? Or conversely, do they think it's a terrible deal and it's about to happen to them any second? In which case, it's managing their belief system so that it's appropriate to their actual risk. Now, within the health belief model is a little piece called self-efficacy. And the self-efficacy, you'll remember, is about my ability that I can actually do something. This is different from perceived behavioral control, which is about whether or not I have the control over that thing. Okay? So self-efficacy, if we're talking, for example, about condoms, it's, can I tell my partner that I need him or her to use a prophylactic? So can I tell him that? Perceived behavioral control would be, do I believe I have any ability to control that? So some young folks, for example, college-age students, do believe that they could tell them, but that it's not really their business, that ultimately the other person is the person that gets to decide. And most oftenly, we're talking heterosexual relationships in which young women feel like the man's going to decide whether or not he wants to wear the condom, and she can't control that at all, which is not true. But the self-efficacy would be, can she even ask him to use it? Can she talk with him about it? Okay, so that's a little bit different. All right, so then if we look at theory of reasoned action, and I always talk about reasoned action with planned behavior, it looks like this, and again, I apologize if it's backwards, but reasoned action starts with attitudes, and then these attitudes are the things we feel, and these attitudes might be health belief model, in which now we're thinking about how I think about this behavior, which drives itself into my intention. And then notice the behavior is here. So let's talk Browns. So if you're going out tonight to watch the Browns game, let's say you have a test tomorrow, and so you value your education, you value your grade in the class, so you're going to come home during halftime and study. You're not going to get intoxicated when you're watching the first half of the game. You're going to be calm when you're watching the first half of the game so that you can study. So your intention is to leave the bar, leave the sports bar at halftime and come home and study, okay? But you're in a sports bar, big, giant environment star, right? That environment is there. So are the Browns winning? Is it awesome? You can't go, or now you've drank too much because they're losing and it's terrible and you can't drive, or you get home via a taxi or a really good friend, but then you can't study because you're intoxicated or you're mad or you're too excited and enthralled with the game. So the environment has interfered with your intention, right? So we need to give people the skills so that their intentions lead to their behaviors irrespective of whatever environment they're in. So when we're talking about helping kids not fall prey to peer pressure, reasoned action, okay? Now, good example though, because if we look at the planned behavior part, perceived control of our opportunities, our resources, and our skills. So perceived behavioral control is what we're calling it in this question, is again, whether or not I believe I can control it. So different from can do it, right? So back to the condom. Do I believe I can control it? Well, I actually can't control it. I'm thinking a little bit too about my master's work. In my master's work, I studied rape among college students as a health behavior. Well, that's a little bit interesting because if I'm studying physical activity, physical fitness, the person is able to control their ability to be physically active or not, right? Mostly. Much more than they can control their ability to be raped or not, right? So the health risk is sexual assault, but the control piece is the perpetrators, not the survivors. So essentially, if we're thinking about, so when would theory of planned behavior be inappropriate to use, which was somewhat how that question was phrased, it would be in situations in which the person actually had no control over the behavior. And another example I use a lot is elementary or middle school kids who we might teach about nutrition. But we wouldn't use planned behavior as a good theory because essentially that kid probably doesn't have much control over what groceries are bought in that household or when and how meals are prepared. And I don't know about you, but I couldn't have come home and been like, yeah, Mom, I learned about this thing called the pyramid or my plate, and this meal is not going to work, so I'm going to need you to prepare me something else. Especially if I said it that way, I wouldn't be here today to talk to you now. So think about that. Because I think the biggest error in that question was talking about perceived behavioral control as self-efficacy, and those two things are actually different. Okay, so I hope this helped. I hope my handouts weren't backwards. I will start posting them for you so you have my visual representation, and I will try to start getting these videos to you more quickly, both as an explanation of the theory before you start doing the assignments, and then what I'm going to do is give you some examples. So examples of good times to use it and not so good times to use it, and examples of the application of it to hopefully help inform your understanding of these theories as we go throughout this online environment. Okay, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're staying dry. It's awfully wet and gray out there right now. I hope you have recovered from the tri-loss and are preparing for the Browns' third straight win. Woo-hoo. All right, I will post this now, and then I think I figured out my YouTube channel, so then I'm going to post your videos, and then I think we're good to go. All right, take care. Happy Thursday, everybody. Talk to you soon.